Hi everybody, it's Megan here, the Healing Foods Coach. It is Saturday, the 7th of September, and I hope you're doing all really well. So if you hadn't seen my super excited, badly lit, little short announcement from last night, I just wanted first of all start by letting you guys know that the interview I did with Bart K is now up on his channel. And I've also put it on my playlist on my channel, and I hope you guys will check it out. It was such a cool experience talking to the Professor Bart K. Totally, totally amazing and so much fun. I hope you guys check it out. Hope you guys enjoy it. So today, I just really first want to start by saying thank you all so much. There have been some new people I see that have recently subscribed to this channel, and I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for following me, subscribing, for liking my videos, and for sharing your comments, your questions, and your own personal journeys. Really does mean the world to me, and I really super, super appreciate it. So thank you for that. As I mentioned in most of my videos, and I will mention again right now, I currently have spaces available in my fall coaching sessions, www.healingfoodscoach.com. Please go there and check it out if you want to know more. All the prices and all of that are provided on the website. Get in touch if you have any questions. It's Megan at healingfoodscoach.com. Let's get healing together. That's what I like to say. So, I wanted to thank you guys for watching my videos, as I mentioned, and just wanted to share with you how thankful I am just to be able to do this every single day. It is such a privilege, such an honor, and truly such a blessing. And I may say this every single day, and I hope it doesn't bore you guys, but I'm going to say it again, and that is this. I am so very grateful that God has healed me through this carnivore diet, through this animal-based diet that I follow, that I don't need a wheelchair anymore after 9 years. I am free of the wheelchair. I'm trying to get it sold at the moment, but not using it. I never thought that day would happen. I still, every day, I think I'm a little bit stunned that I've come to this point. And yes, I had to do the work as far as I had to change my mindset. I had to stop thinking that I was stuck in this way, that I would always be in a chair, that I would never get better, that I would never have mobility ever again. I had to reach a point where I was willing to be open to the possibility that I might be able to heal. And I had to be willing to actually try the first thing that actually worked, which is changing my diet, not the amount of calories going in, which really, well, Bart K has a whole thing about that, but and obviously that because it's true, but not because I was eating the healthy carbs, not because I was cutting out, um, you know, junk food except for once a week, not because I ate everything in moderation. None of that. That isn't what changed for me. And it wasn't the fact that I ate all the plants and got my fiber and tried to follow all the rules that are put out in the food guides or in the pyramids, because that didn't work for me either. Restricting didn't work. Binging and purging definitely didn't work. It was being open to the fact that there was another way that I didn't even really realize was out there that actually nourished my body. Got rid of the inflammation, the brain fog, the chronic pain, helped my back heal from the disc injury, helped my fibromyalgia symptoms to go down to the point where I realized I was healing. And I actually could accept the fact I was healing. I was stuck in a position of feeling like, honestly, a bit of a victim mentality. Oh, poor me, I'm always going to be this way. Now, I'm not saying, please hear me, I'm not saying that everyone else who has fibromyalgia or chronic pain feels this way. But I know myself. And I was always good at putting everyone else's needs above my own and feeling like I had to be the martyr, that I had to be more of a Martha and not enough of a Mary. That has always been my character throughout my life. And when I finally stopped and realized that, in fact, there is a far better way To lose the excess body fat, yes. To lose the water that I was retaining, yes. And the inflammation and the pain and everything else, yes. So I had to take those steps. But those steps were provided for me by God. I firmly believe that. Absolutely. I reached that point when I was finally desperate enough to say, enough, I'm tired of continuing to do what I've always done and expecting a different result. It never worked. It left me feeling more anxious, more depressed, more out of control with my bulimia. It left me in a horrible state physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And I had to be willing to try something that seemed so completely radical, and yet really is the way humans have always eaten for hundreds and thousands of years, but that we've decided we had a better way. As a species, we knew better. The highly refined and processed sugars and carbs and prepackaged this and ready to go that. Those were the keys. That was the way to do it, even though it didn't work for me. And it doesn't work for most people. But when I stopped and realized I had to stop thinking like, oh, poor me, I'm just stuck, it will never change, oh, boo-hoo. And again, I'm speaking about myself. I'm in no way saying that is what anyone else out there is feeling, nor what they struggle with. But I have often struggled with being willing to be a martyr in my own life. You know, I'll give you an example. I remember once when my kids were really young. My kids, I mean, they're 21 and 23 now, but when they were very, very small, and I was putting food out at the table, and of course we needed 4 bowls, and one bowl had a big chip in it. And I automatically gave myself the bowl with the chip without even thinking about it. But I made sure everyone else had a perfectly formed bowl. That's just a small example. That's just to give you a slight taste of how deep it ran. And not because anyone said I had to do that, not because anyone said I deserved the chipped bowl, and not one of the ones that was mismatched but was in perfect shape. That came out of my own mental state. And that was me throughout most of my life until not that long ago. And so when I finally reached the point of saying, you know what? I know binging and purging doesn't work. I know highly restricting my food intake doesn't work long term. I know that what I'm doing and punishing myself because I'm hungry and yet still trying to deny food, or trying to make it so, I can have a chocolate bar or I can have a treat if I don't eat anything for the next 36 hours, that was okay. Because that's what I was used to. But I knew ultimately it wasn't working. And when I finally reached the point that maybe there was a better plan, that's when I had the thought of, oh wait, what about keto? Because my sister-in-law used it. She did it back around 2015 to help with her arthritis and other chronic pain, and it helped her. And I remembered she and my brother ate a lot of animal products, a lot of animal foods, a lot of meat. And I remember at the time thinking, oh my gosh, well, she's going to die from a heart attack. She's going to get horrible cholesterol. And of course, the complete opposite happened. And I think they might have eased into something that was a bit more paleo, but I remember thinking how completely insane her way of eating was. And yet she was getting healthier. I was getting worse. Go figure. But it was at that point that I had that silent thought in my brain, try keto. I believe personally that came from God. And so I tried it. I looked it up, found Dr. Berry's videos, started following keto, realized I couldn't be properly keto, which allows for non-starchy vegetables and full-fat dairy, because of the IBS. I don't do any plants, as I've shared with you guys before, and I cannot do dairy outside of butter because I have lactose intolerance. So technically, I became a carnivorous ketovore or carnivorous keto person made it simple. I'm carnivore because I have to be. And I feel great. And every single moment of every day, I feel better and better. I actually have more energy now at 52 than I ever before in my entire life. Without caffeine, without the highs that come from sugars and other stimulants, I've been medication free for a year and a half now. I've been off, not in my wheelchair for, well, it'll be almost a year in October. It'll be a full year since I've been not needing my wheelchair. I walk 6 miles every day, typically. Sometimes 8, sometimes somewhere in between that number. But I feel so incredibly blessed. And I just wanted to make this quick video with you guys because being able to share my story and knowing that it has hopefully helped some of you, or maybe you've seen it and then it's gone on to help somebody that you know. That's why I want to do this. That's why I want to share how grateful I am and why I make this content. Because I think every day I have something, a little something to be thankful for. You know, today I had to go into town, take a couple of small packages to the post office. Now, there's this thing that happens every single year here in Colchester, in England, called Invasion Colchester. And what it is a day when everybody comes out who's into it, dressed as their absolute favorite characters from their favorite mangas and animes from Marvel, from DC World, from Disney, from Warner Brothers, so like Harry Potter, as well as their favorite comics, books, and other films and movies. And it's kind of cool. Like, I'm not talking small kids. There were a lot of small little kids wearing Spider-Man costumes or Batman costumes today, which is cute. I'm talking adults. Like, I saw a bunch of adults out with their kids. They were dressed as like Ghostbusters with really, really, really top quality costumes that they'd worked on, I think, for at least 6 months with their little ones, dressed up from their favorite Star Wars characters. Sometimes you'll see Doctor Who characters, Star Trek characters, it's kind of like what I imagine Comic-Con might be, but it's outdoors and it's through the entire town center. So it's not confined to a convention space. You do not have to pay to participate, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. Well, it took me, I think, almost 3 times as long to get to the post office because there were just so many people there today. And as I was heading back home through it, there was an elderly lady who was in a mobility scooter. And as she was coming towards me, I made a point of just stepping back and letting her go ahead. And she said to me, "Oh, thank you, my dear. You're the first person who's actually let me go ahead." And I was able to say to her, she said, I actually was able to say to her, "Absolutely not a problem. I was in a wheelchair for 9 years. I know how it feels when you've got all these crowds and you can't get around." I said, "But I'm happy to let you go." And she said, "Oh, well, good for you." And then she carried on with her day. And I just remember the first couple of times that Invasion Colchester happened, I was in my wheelchair. And it was a nightmare trying to get through the crowds. People don't mean to be rude. People don't mean to get in the way, typically. But there's just so many people, it's hard to avoid. And the fact that I can bob and weave and duck out of crowds and step to the side, wow. So, so, so thankful for that. So, the reason I'm filming this outside today is because after all of the crowds in town, I needed to feel a bit of space. So, just out here in my backyard. But I really, again, just want to thank you guys so much for watching my videos, liking my content, sharing your stories, letting me know where you guys are at. If you're just starting, if you've been doing it for a while, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. And I welcome all questions always. So I thank you for that. And anything that I can possibly share or pass on to you guys that may be of help, maybe of encouragement, that's why I'm here. So thank you again. I am so glad for all of your wonderful, incredible, and loyal support. So having said all of that, that's kind of wrapping things up for me for today's video. I just want to let you guys know I will be away For the evening in London, my husband and son and I are going to a heavy metal gig, which I can't wait for. Super excited. The main band is a band called Asphyx. They are Dutch. Opening by a band called Consecration, supported by a band called Consecration, of which we are friends with the members. So super, super exciting, which would be great. And then we are away most of tomorrow. So I will try to have some content up for you then. But if you don't hear from me until Monday, that would be why. So rock on, those of you who are into that same kind of awesome music. And if you're not, that's cool too. That's all right. It's all good. We can still be friends and we can still get healing together regardless. Once more, reminding you to please, if you're interested in one-to-one coaching sessions, I have some spaces still available for the fall session, which will carry us through until, kind of a week before Christmas. So please go ahead and book now. www.healingfoodscoach.com. But if you have any questions or you have any kind of, if for some reason you can't book, it shouldn't be an issue. But if you have any problems or you have any further questions, Meghan@healingfoodscoach.com. Would love to hear from you guys. Would love to work with you guys one-to-one for those looking for it. Meantime, have an amazing weekend, and I will be back for sure on Monday, hopefully tomorrow as well. Bye, guys.